Okay folks, be with you very shortly, and we'll be getting underway from Quebec to Toledo. Alright folks, how you doing? Welcome to another stream. Trying to get back into this, and it's taking me ages to get around to doing these streams and figure out all the stuff once again and make sure it all works. And so today I decided to fly somewhere different to some of the stuff that I've done in the past. So I thought I'd just catch a flight from Quebec down to Toledo. So not sure how that's going to go. Never been to any of these airfields, and I can only just about get the EasyJet off the ground. So of course this is an EasyJet we're flying today, and I'm sure this isn't one of their routes, but we're gonna give ourselves a little bit of license, and that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Right, so then let's get rid of the annoying music, and let's get in the cockpit, shall we? Right, okay, so that's worked well. So already you see, this is the thing when you try and do these things. That doesn't quite look like cockpit to me. So what we do is that. So it doesn't seem to be working. So why is that? Okay. What we need to do is come out of drone mode. We're good. Nobody panic. I don't think anybody's panicking anyway. So, right. Okay. We've a lot to do to get off the ground here. So, as I say, we're in Quebec, and we need to start getting through this checklist. So let's do it. In fact, just before we get into the checklist, let's just show you what I do in terms of a checklist that I've got, and you're welcome to use this checklist if you so want to, because it is available online, and I can just talk you through what that's all about. So obviously this is the website. Well, not obviously, it is. And on the website, you'll see lots of bits of news about Microsoft Flight Simulator and all that kind of stuff as well. And then what you need to do is go to the Community tab and then choose one of these here. So these are checklists that I've made up for the PA-28 and for the Microsoft the A320, an interactive checklist for that, and I'll show you that in a second, and the Microsoft Flight Simulator CRJ checklist. So we're going to be using the A320 checklist today, and it basically you can tick your way through all these items by ticking the box on the left hand side there, and it's really something to have a look at and see if you think it would work for you. But there's a couple of videos advertised in the kind of flow of things, and but have a look, and I'm going to be following it through now. So hopefully you know, you'll see this as well and see how it works, and hopefully you find that useful. So what are we doing today? One of the things to do today is to do the flight, but then also we are looking at the new overlay that we have today, which is this overlay. And it's a Flylight. Is it Flylight? Let me have a look. I think it's FlyLive. It's FlyLive Studio. And I've basically edited it a little bit just to just to kind of make the numbers a bit more bolder on the screen, but easier to read when you're following along. So we're going to try that out today and see how that goes. So we'll get that back in play once we get in the air, and we can see then how that goes. There is a problem with it where the altitude doesn't work quite right, but that's okay. We can live with that. Right, now I think what we can do, can we get bear with me, I'm just trying to think if I can pull up the yes, there we go. So I've got the checklist to pull up there as well, so let's just make that so that you can see that. So I just need to remember where we are. So this is basically the checklist that I'm working through, and again, this is the one that's available on the website, so if you want to grab hold of that, you can. And I just did this because I found it easier to kind of work with and to get going. So right, no further ado then, let's start doing some of this stuff. First of all, let's just make sure our views are looking good around the aircraft. See what's happening outside. She's looking gorgeous in the sun there today. They've definitely done some of the fixes in terms of being able to see the exposure being a bit better. I've messed up a couple of these cameras, so once we get in the air, I'll probably do those. I had one that was which was quite a nice view that did that, so I'll sort that out. I wonder if we can do that now, actually. So it was something like that. So it's Control 1, I think that is. Let's just see if we can. There we go. Look at that, look. And that's good, isn't it? So I want to go down a little bit, and then what I want to be able to do is to get the brake if I can. There we go. That's good. So, and then save it as Control Alt, and I've got that in camera position 1. So right, okay, let's start working our way through this checklist then. So thrust lever is set to idle. We were in reverse thrust, we want none of that. Engine master switches are off. Engine mode selector is set normal. Landing gear is down. All good stuff to see. Park brake is set. Wipers are off, so we need to go above for that one. So let's have a look. Wipers are off on both. That's good. Oh, can you just see that you can see the mouse? That's good. It's good that you can see the mouse. Battery voltage is greater than or equal 25.5. Batteries 1 and 2 on. Now, for some reason, they are on already, so I need to make a bit of a change here. So ground power unit is available. Let's switch that on, and now we can switch the batteries on. So I need to swap that around. So we need to do the Apu Fire Test. So that's that there. So hopefully that's, just make sure I've got the sound turned up for Flight Simulator. No sound turned up. So let's just try that again. Come back into the, and we should get an audible alarm for that. Apu Fire Test is done. Apu Master goes on. And then Apu Start goes on. Right, so now we need to basically go around the cockpit and just sort out some of these brightnesses and stuff like that. Otherwise, from a streaming point of view, it's difficult to see anyway, but if we don't have this, but just generally from a flying point of view, you know, when you start up without being cold and dark, these things are already on anyway, so that's good. We'll have the takeoff lights on there, and we want the lights on there, and the LCD lights nice and bright as well. Jolly good. Right, so we're going to consider that as all the lights pretty much done. They're the ones that I tend to use, so we can tick our way through there. Jolly good. Right, so always checking, of course, that the parking brake is on, and we go back and check that multiple times just to make sure. Flaps are up. Spree brake is down. I think that's disarmed, so we can check that. Disarmed is when you can't see the white tape, I believe. Probe and window heats. Let's go above. Oh god, I keep forgetting where this stuff is. So probe window heat, probe window heat. There we go. So we don't need that. It's set to auto, which it is. Nav and logo lights go on. So nav and logo, and APU bleed goes on too. Okay, so crew oxygen setup. We come over here and turn on the crew supply. So that's all good. That all seems to be good. And now we need to turn on the ADERs. Get those working, and then in time what will happen is that means that basically these will come to life because they'll have connected with the satellites and all those sorts of things as well. So let's go back above. Strobe light goes on. Seat belts go on. No smoking goes on. And emergency exit we need to arm. Annunciator light test. So this is really just to check all the lights light up. No bulbs broken or damaged in any way. And dome lights are set to dim. All right, anti-icing is off. So this is the anti-ice here. Wing is off. Wing is off. Engine 1 and 2 goes off as well. Cabin pressure mode is set to off. So in other words, not shown as manual. Ditching button is closed. Landing elevation is set to auto. Which is there, I believe. And aircon set as required. So we're going to leave that like that at the moment, and that will be fine. Okay. So packs are all on, so both on, in other words. Batteries are charging okay, so let's just go and have a look here. So what we want to do is go to electrical, and we do seem to have a lot of green there, so I'm guessing that means the things are charging well, which is what we want. Okay, back above, so now we want to go to all fuel pumps are on. And we now want to do the engine fire test. So test left or engine 1. Right, engine 2. So I think I might have the volume set down for these things actually, which is a bit of a pain. So electrical panel check. So we can go back down here for the electrical panel. All looking good. Ventilation panel. And all looking good. So far so good. So what we want to do now is, okay, doors we want to check as well. Doors are good. Hydraulics, okay, and engine is really important to make sure that we've got engine oil pressure which is above 23. Flight controls check. So now we need to go to flight controls. Up, down, left rudder, right rudder, and there we go. Not sure that that's done in the correct order that you would actually do it. And now we can go to set the barometer, which is up here. So barometer, I like hectopascals because that's what I fly in the UK. And flight directors are on. I did set up a button for that, but let's just see if that button actually works. Yeah, flight director. Yeah, that actually works. Cool. Okay. so flight directors, and we want to make sure constraints are on for the takeoff, and the navigation display is set to arc and set to 10 nautical miles because we're going to be taking off and we want to see all the waypoints on the way out. Landing system, in other words, or ILS is switched off. Speed should be managed. Now you can't change this at this stage because I believe it's reliant on the displays, so we'll come, that actually happens a bit later now. Altitude increments, we want to make sure they are set, where are we, in thousands. Initial stop altitude we'll set to 5,000 for now. Okay, brightnesses we've already checked. Standby ASI, so that's set. Do we press the barometer because we are playing? Yeah, so I've got live weather, so you have to remember to set the barometer. Should have done that earlier on. And so we can cross-check 1026, 1026, yeah. And the clock we're not going to worry about. Anti-skid on. Okay. Audio controls, we can click through this because they come on anyway. That's all jolly good. Weather we can set to weather. So let's come here. Where is the weather? There we go. Weather we want to set to WX, which is there. Okay, engine oil we've checked, hydraulics we've checked, and status we haven't checked. So let's have a look at status. Status check. Everything is normal. Jolly good. Right, we are doing good. Right, so back in the aircraft then. Right, so thrust levers are set idle. It's good habit to get into to actually look just to make sure. Engine master switches are all off. Engine mode selector is set to normal, and spoilers are retracted. Disarmed. Flaps are up. Parking brake is on and off and on. ATC pilot. Transponder is set to standby. Oh, that's not great, is it? I can't quite see. I've had that before. It is standby, but I've had that where you can't see what's actually happening there. Weather system is set to SIS1. Right, so what we want to do now then is go to the MCDU, and we want to check, make sure that our air rack is in the right date range. We make a note of the engines. We're not going to work out some of the stuff today. We're just going to get going. But you would want to know these engines to set the takeoff speeds and that sort of thing. So flight plan, we need to load the flight plan. So what we need to do here, I've had a few problems with this. Let's go to init. Let's request data. There we go. So that's our Quebec to Toledo loaded. That's fine. Now what we want to do is to go to flight plan, and we'll go here as well. So we can't have a look at that yet because we're still waiting for the ADARs to come alive. So we'll come back to that and check the flight plan shortly. So we can't check that. So right, where are we? So distance check, we'll do passengers, payload, fuel, takeoff weight and landing weight. So what we can do, we need to make a note of that. That's what those spaces for. You can actually write into there. Let's go back to MCDU and ATSU, AOC menu, and what we can do is get a weather request. Let's do that now. We go back to the menu, performance, weight and balance. So we can load the fuel. I think we have to do the send request and then load the fuel. That's right. And loads, that's good. So let's go and have a look. I'm looking at my flight plan on SimBrief. So I want to just check the the weights and stuff that goes with it. Where are we? What have I done there then? Okay, so let's generate the flight plan again. Generate flight plan, yes. I think I'll go back and do, should be fine. Yeah, okay. Just make sure that hasn't changed. No, that's okay. That's what we wanted. So I needed to check the payload. So let's go into the payload and check that. Right, so center of balance is good. We should have, according to this, payload of 1850. Well, that's not right, is it? So payload we want to, so we can adjust this just so it's as good as, and fuel of 8.4. Well, we've got 8.7, so that's good. So it looks like we're on the forward limit. So what we want to do is rear baggage. Let's get rid of that, and we'll make this. Will that work if we make that 9,000? Too much, so we want to make that 7, and this one, there we go, that's fine. So we've now got 18 roughly of cargo, so that's all fine. And just make a mental note of the 26.9 C of G. Good. Right, so we've done the fuel, and now what we need to go into is init. What do we want to do? Performance, isn't it? No. We want to go to init, and I think we go, what the instructions, page right. So we can do that. Check it twice. Fuel planning, block confirm. Okay, so we'll take that as read. That's good. Now we go to performance. Right, so for the performance, what we want to do, because we're not working out the exact things to do, we can put flaps 1 for takeoff, and we do the /, pop that in there. Temperature we can put at 65, and now we can, because it's got those elements in there, we can double click these and get our speeds. Cool. Right, done. And so what we'll do is on the flaps, we'll go 1/up 1.2, okay, for the trim. So, and then if we have the / that should take that into, okay, it didn't do it. So, okay, so there was a something there. 1, clear. Let's just clear those out. So try again. 1/up 1.2, and then enter that. Good. Okay, so now what we can do is go to the and set the trim, oh, not the throttle, the trim as up I think I've got that reversed. So to see this, what you can do is go to here and click flight controls, and you can see this bit changing here, 1.2 up. So by adjusting the trim. So jolly good. Right. Looking good. So we can just press B again just to make sure that the QNH hasn't changed. So what we can do is what's happened to my ATC? Here we go. Tune massage. Okay. Okay. Ground. And we'll request our so we'll, because we haven't got the flight in, it doesn't seem to work very well. Okay, but that's fine. So we'll, because we're not really doing we don't want runway 24, so we're going to get it shouting at us because we want, because of our departure, we want runway 06. So okay, that's not going to be great. Never mind, we'll just carry on. Right, radio set checks, anti-skid is on, auto brakes are set to medium. It's because the engines haven't started, so flaps shouldn't check that until you've done it. So flaps 1, speed brakes arm, flight controls checked, trim we've set, although it's getting a bit excitable. There we go. Pitch trim, rudder trim. We want to reset the rudder trim. Autopilot check, auto thrust check. Well, we don't have power yet, so I don't think we can. Flight directors are on, ILS, anti-ice as required, FMC cleanup and chocks removed. Right, okay, so we're now going to start the engine so we can have beacons on, just to let them know that we're going to be doing something. External power goes off. Engine area is clear. Let's just have a quick look at. Right, okay, so what we want to do now is engine switch to ignition and engine 2 master goes on. And now if we switch to engines here, we should see I don't know why it's doing that. Why are the engines not coming on? Right, so we've got engine ignition. Oh, there we go. Start to increase now. Oh, slightly worried then. There we are. Looking at the wrong screen. There we go. Bit of a panic on. Right, coming up. Once we have our engines ticking over, we can then. So oil pressure is good. Coming up to 60 and about 20. Right, let's just go back to this and go back to the flight plan. I just want to make sure departure. So we're definitely doing 06. Going to be 06. Okay, let's see what that does. Let's just zoom in. Right, okay, well, it seems to be right. We'll trust in. So now what we can do is turn the engine ignition off. Perhaps when the APU bleed goes off, got to make sure I stop doing that because APU bleed goes off. Let's just go down and have a look at the panel to make sure that we don't lose our engines. Anti-ice goes off, APU master goes off. There we go. Right, park brakes, pedal brakes are on. And nose lights go to taxi. Park brake goes off. And now what we do need to do is request pushback. Ground services.
Lesage ground BA 7055 Echo Zulu 10 requesting pushback. BA 7055 Echo
Look outside, see what's going on. Oh, here we go. Right, that's good. So we're going to go push back to the right.
Lesage ground BA 7055 Echo Zulu 101 requesting pushback to steer the aircraft to the right. BA 7055 Echo Zulu 101, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
Right, so flight controls. Check. Right, so everything is auto there. Weather radar goes on. And weather radar goes. Okay. Push back straight.
Lesage ground BA 7055 Echo Zulu 101 requesting pushback to push the aircraft straight. BA 7055 Echo Zulu 101, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
Pushback stop.
Lesage ground BA 7055 Echo Zulu 101 requesting the
Okay.
end of pushback. BA 7055 Echo Zulu 101 request to end pushback received.
Right, okay. Back to clearance. Engine instruments check. Autopilot. What we do need to do is figure out why can't I see that then? For some reason I've lost my Navigraph screen. Right, so we're going to have to do this the odd way. Let's just come back in here. Let's go up. And that's runway 06 there, I believe. S29. So that will be 06 there, I believe. Okay, so let's get back in the aircraft. And give ourselves a bit of juice. no idea where my navigaph has gone, so I don't really know where in the airport I am. So, never mind, we'll figure it out. Right, okay, brake temperatures check. Brakes fan goes off if it's on. It's not on. Landing lights go on. Okay. Runway turn off lights go. Okay, I'm not sure we should be here, so, but never mind. Right, runway turn off lights go on. Takeoff config. Takeoff config there. There we go. Right, so takeoff config. Come on, bit more juice. Get back on the taxiway, that'd be quite good. So takeoff config, TCAS goes to standby is what we've not done. So we can do that now. Ah. Right, so we've got a runway we're going to cross now. We will have a cursory look right and left. I think we're going to need the radio because we're on the different runway to what it suggested. So okay, slow down just a little bit. Right, takeoff memo, terrain radar, we don't have bird strike check, departure brief. Okay, so we will enter the runway, full power. If speed isn't increasing, we'll come to a halt and taxi clear of the runway at the first possible exit. Otherwise, we'll take off, make sure we've got speed increasing, and engage the autopilot. S1 will bring in the flaps and get on our way. Okay, so a little bit more juice. So what we want is packs go off, strobe light goes on, nose light goes take off. Now hopefully without a map we've ended up at 06. Rudder trim reset. There we are. Okay, that's the runway we wanted, so this is good news. and stop. Right, we're on the brakes, and right, so standing by, and our initial to Zubin will be 15,000 feet. So okay, checking for 40%. 46, that's fine. Full power. Okay. Off we go. Airspeed increasing. Autopilot goes on. And throttles go back to climb. There we go. So now I'm hoping that it takes us. That's I know what's happened here. So Zubin, we need to get rid of that discontinuity. Damn, forgot to do the discontinuity. There we go. Now we should make a turn for Zubin. There we go. Right, let's get outside the aircraft and have a look. Seems it's doing its thing. Right, speeds are good. Right, to keep an eye, because on this experimental one, if you sometimes go faster, well, it works as if it's the real aircraft. So see the speeds creeping up there, look, but we're on auto thrust, so that should take us over. We'll get a master caution if we go too high. Now I don't think the throttle is, there you go, lever climb. That's what you need for auto throttle to work. So my throttles aren't set up quite right, so you need lever climb, and speed is managed. But I don't know why that is. I think let's get the flap away. There we go, because I had the flap out, so there we go. Good stuff. Right, we now need to make our way up to, according to the plan, 15,600 feet. So okay, so she should start climbing now. Jolly good. Right, yeah, so one of the things we got to test today is, let's see if we can get the overlay working. Oh yeah, look at that. So hopefully that will show up on the screen shortly. Not utterly convinced we're heading where we should be for picking up the autopilot. not the autopilot, the flight plan. Let's have a look. So we should be heading to Zubin. So I think what we need to do here... right, okay. So... definitely get rid of that one, I think. Didn't do a very good job of sorting this out. Oh dear. That's not good. Oh, there we go. No, we're right. So what we want to do is go direct to Zubin. And then we should pick up the flight plan. Heading has gone manual. Ah, that's what it was. I've had that before. The heading switches to manual without realizing it. Right, on our way to 15,000 feet then. So, and we should be 15,000 feet by Zubin, which I don't think we will be. Right, okay, so being a bit sloppy here today, let's do some after takeoff checks while we're doing this, because we haven't really done it, which is a bit bad, really. So coming up on 10,000 feet, so we can hold on, let's get this right. Standard, there we go. Right, so we should be hooking onto the flight plan shortly. Jolly good. Right, so after takeoff checks in, so landing gear is up. Flaps are up. Let's bring up the checklist on the screen. Landing gear, this is on the climb out, flaps up. Weather goes to tilt down. So, which I don't think that does at the moment. Autopilot is on. Speed below 250 knots. That's okay, we're above 10,000 feet now, so I think we should be right. Auto brakes are off. ATC check if we were doing that. Let's just check the... we can have the packs back on. The customers. Nose light goes off. Runway turn off light goes off. And packs we've done anyway. Anti-ice as required, we don't need. Right, so past 5,000 feet we can release the crew. I think that's that, not sure. ND range goes to 40 nautical miles. Nicely on track there now. Speed check. Yeah. Climb rate, barometer, we can set it's on standard, so that's good. Speed check set to Mach. Landing lights go off. Anti-ice as required. Fasten seatbelts comes off. ND, so past flight level 10. So we're flight level now because we're standard. We need to make sure that we are at 80 to 160 on the range, so that's fine. So we've got a lot of pretty much straight through on some of these navigational points or waypoints. So pretty much straight through. Good. So right in the cruise then. So we'll do all that once we get to the cruise. We need to check the engine, comms, nav, fuel, nav accuracy, and cabin temperature. So Wow, we're in the air. Right, let's get outside and have a look. So I need to check some of these because reset up some of these views that have sort of lost a bit of meaning by clicking the wrong thing at some point. That's stunning, isn't it? It's working well. Shift Alt 4. Just check that works. So don't know what's happened to these. Sorry, it's making you dizzy, but I'm just checking these work, so that should be further back. And from this side. There we go, so that would be 1. And 7 is there. And the aircraft, don't know why that's there. Looking good though, the aircraft. There we go. I'm not sure why that's like that, but because that should be a forward view. Oh, I see. It's turning. Well, hopefully it is anyway. Let's get back in the cockpit and have a look. Oh no. So it's lost the autopilot. So hopefully we get back on track. There we go. So I think I'd overridden the autopilot a bit there. We'll soon get back on track. Okay, so we're on our way to Ketru, and we should be on our way to 25,000 feet now. So let's go up here and have a look. And just check. 25 in the blue. Yeah, okay, so she should do that quite nicely now. Right, let's just settle down and see if the aircraft does what it's supposed to do for a bit. Let's get a little bit of music on. At some point, I need to find out why Navigraph isn't working so I can get the approach plates sorted and all that sort of thing. Oh, here we go. No raft charts have appeared. Right, okay, so don't need that. Do a little bit of clean up here from the last time I flew. Right, okay, flights. Now I need to new flight from SimBrief. That'll bring that in. There we go. No, I don't think. Oh, there we go. I didn't realise that I was able to put that on screen. So, right, so we've got our SimBrief chart there. So, what we can do, don't know why that didn't start, but it didn't. And so it looks like we're doing, can I pull up SimBrief as well? So SimBrief, that's not worked. Okay, so what we want to do then is our arrivals, no star procedures for this airport, approaches, so we're going to be on runway 25, so we'll take the ILS, which is there, so pin that. So we need to make our way, by the look of it, to Harbs. So any arrivals? No arrivals. Wonder what that means then. Let's jump back in the aircraft. Okay, so KTOL, arrival, so we're going to be ILS 25 Zulu, no star, so we could go via Harbs, that's what we want, so insert. So that should Harbs, and that will take us via Jeep Z. So yeah, let's just pull it back up. Yeah, so we're going to come in Harbs, and then we're going to do the Jeep Z final. Cool. So we know what we're doing in terms of there we go. I think we'll stick at 25,000 feet because we've got a nice view of things here. Still got some of that things loading in, but it's definitely scrolling a bit better. Put the pad on, I guess. So let's pull up the overlay. There we go. Right. what I need to do is just adjust so that we're down a little bit more. Let's just go into the settings, general, camera, height, here we go. Line save, go back, resume. That's a bit better. I can see the top line there now, so that's good. And we can just increase the range. Right, so let's call this a cruise then. So what we would do is check the engines. Engines, everything's running fine. Comms we would check. Fuel. Accuracy. I always get confused where this is. So I think if we go to data, GPS monitor, okay. Where is it? Oh, there you go. There's the accuracy. It's 0.7 nautical miles. That's good. And cabin temperature, so we can check. That's just a little bit cold in the cockpit today. Let's just warm up the temperature a little bit. And no red lights. Some stunning scenery down below here, so Okay, so how are we doing then? Let's have a look on SimBrief, or Navigraph rather, and see how we're doing. Right, so that's the map. And so that approach is fixed there. So what do we want? We want to clear that, don't we? And there we go, and zoom out. There we go. Zoom out of that one. There we go. And so just flown over Ottawa. So missed that. And what else? So let's have a look. See what else we're flying over. So we've got a little bit of cloud now, which is taking the view a bit. Next one is Peterborough. We seem to be flying city to city, basically. That's not London. I've been to London. That's definitely not London. Or Dorchester. I've been there. Right, okay. So it's all looking quite good. Nice straightforward route. And right, so let's jump back in the cockpit. See how we're doing. Right, what I did want to do while we're in the air is in a minute I'll be back with you and I'll try and set up a couple of camera views because I want to try and record the landing. That never seems to go that well, but and then play it back. So I just have my cup of tea, then I'll be back with you. Right, okay, let's have a go, see if we can sort out a view from inside. So I've done this before, but for some reason they've kind of moved and are not available anymore. So I think what we'll do is take this one. So we need to press right Alt and forwards, and that should take us hopefully into the cabin. What a great view, just past all the 3D work there. Fantastic how people do this, really. There we go, this is promising. There we go, some of the gubbins from inside the wing. Right, so I think there is a seat. There we go. I think there's somewhere where you can look out. Ah, there it is. It's over there. Okay. So, and it's kind of like a blanked off piece. There we go. And turn round. There we go. Oh, don't do that. Too far. Doesn't look too bad. Can we go around to the right a little bit? There we go. So you get the reflection off the screen as well. Oh, that's not so good. There we go. Well, that's okay. So what we're going to do is save that as Control Alt and 1. Looks a bit strange. That must be an effect from the glass doing that, because I'm sure it doesn't bulb us out like that in real life. Right, let's go in the camera views again. So we've got right looking down, from the right, from the back, from the tail, and then so that one now then is there. So yeah, that's not so bad. So I need to change one actually. I should have made that Alt 4. Right, so we now want one out the other wing. Okay, through we go. If we go down a bit, look, we can go through the wing again, because that's quite good. No. Isn't that cool? Okay, so what we want to do now is look out the other side, because the way they've got the window positioned the other side, you get to see the slats and stuff. There we go. It's not too bad, is it? Ooh. That's all right, I think. Maybe a bit to the left and then round to the... Oh no, that's no good. Okay, that's all right, I think. Yeah, okay, so we'll go with that. So, oh yeah, I forgot, when you do that, you go through the aircraft, which is a bit of a shame. never mind. Right, so that one. Okay, so nearly getting on for halfway, I suppose. So not too bad. Let's have a look what our descent point is on the plan. Double climb. So we'll look at the flight plan. Right, so basically Gdav, we should be at 27,000 feet. I always seem to get this wrong. So basically harbs. So if we go back to our, let's see if we can work this out. So if we go back to Sky Demon, and if we pull up, so here at harbs we need to be 3,100 feet. Okay, and what we can do, if we go to program and we can put in harbs, HARBS. Right, so 308 miles to go. Okay. Okay, so I haven't really done much work with this. With the iPad, so let's have a little play with this because we've got a little bit of time. Now here I believe there is a calculator. Let's have a look, see what we've got. I keep forgetting that we've got all these things we can do here. Right, so ground speed. So top of descent. So let's just sync that with the aircraft. Target altitude is, let's just go back in actually to the flight plan, see if we've got any constraints. So Gdav, we need to be 6,500 feet. So what we can do, let's go back to here and program Gdav in instead. GADAV. Okay, and right, 223 miles. Okay, so, and we want to be, according to the flight plan, 6,500 feet by there. Oh, sorry, that's miles, isn't it? Yeah, so we can probably, it's only miles. So we've got basically 40 miles to run there. So at Gadav, the same for 10,000 feet. Let's go back to our iPad. Target altitude is right. Okay, so it's saying 47 nautical miles. So that doesn't seem like many, if that's what it's saying. Oh, it's only 15,000 feet, isn't it? Which is the difference between the two. So for Gadav, then we can now go back to our flight computer and go to program, and we've got 210 to go. So basically, at 50 nautical miles from Gadav, we'll start our descent to 10,000 feet. Okay, so we won't pull that yet because we've got a long way to go. There you go, straightforward. And then we can figure the rest out from Gadav. Right, let's try some of the new views we just put in. There you go, that's good. Yeah, it's a shame that's cuts through the plane. I think there's a way to sort that out, but I can have a look at doing that. Right, what do I need to get set up? So if we're going to record the landing for giggles, we need to get the flight recorder going in the background. So once we've cleared Durlo, we'll be able to see when well, see that doesn't show you the distance from Gadav there, so you need to be able to go to program, and we can see we're 194 now. So that's fine. So yeah, if you do anybody does watch this, what do you think of the new overlay on the top there? That's quite good. And what we're doing in a minute, have a quick look at the website, see what's new. I think today there's a hotfix coming out for World Update 6. Quick look on my phone, see if there's anything for all that. Actually, might better look on the PC on this screen. Be interesting to see what's actually included in that. Also, Flight Simulator fix. Okay. Right, so it's 1.199. Okay, so read the release notes here. Please use the thread hotfix 1.19.9.0. Okay. Oh, where's the... release notes, here we go. So what I'll do, if anybody's interested, I'll put the let's put the release notes in the chat. Can I do that? I don't think I'm allowed to from here. Oh, no, won't let me do that from there. Right, what's it say then? So, if you're playing on PC, some packages in your community folder may not have been updated and, as a result, may have an unexpected impact on the title's performance and behaviour. Please move your community package to another folder before relaunching the title if you suffer from this. So, bug fixes. Fix the broken night lighting when the render scale was not set to 100%. Okay, so that was a bit of a funny one where the lights were blurred, I think. Added off-screen pre-caching option for the VR menu. Well, that doesn't affect me because I don't do that, but good anyway. Fix some general crashes. That's a bit vague, but they fixed some. Fix the trim reset button on Thrustmaster TCA quadrant. Okay. Safe mode will no longer trigger when a crash occurred when closing the program. Okay. Color correction for photometry in Vienna. Water crack has been fixed near Moritzburg. Fixed terrain spike around LOWI. And fixed crash with resync. Right. Okay. That's it, is it? Right.
Generic Bravo Zulu Foxtrot, please expedite your descent 5,000 feet. Generic 67 Hotel, contact Toronto, approach on 133.4. Good day.
Right, let's just jump back in the cockpit and have a look. So 162 miles to run. Is that correct? Let's just, it's always good to check that that's what you're seeing. So Durlo, yeah, that'll be good. So we can have a look here. Look on the, so we should, so where's 160 is here, correct? There's good to have a look. So we can see it's on the 160 arc. It's always good to sort of sense check it.
Generic Bravo Zulu Foxtrot, please expedite your descent 5,000 feet.
Right, okay. So we're well past the halfway mark now. Looking at the new bar across the top. Let's spend a couple of minutes on the new bar. So we've got the speed, but we're currently in Mach. The heading. I think the heading works fairly well. Basically, the altitude. So we're showing at 25,000 feet, but it's showing us at 26,294, and I don't know why that differs. But anyway, it's interesting. This seems pretty accurate, I think, which is the vertical speed indicator, and obviously this is obviously Quebec where we took off from, and Cato, which is Toledo, and this tells us how long we got to go. and we've got 234 miles of 618, so left to go. So that's quite good. Actually, we can check how accurate that is. So what's it saying? 232. So let's put Kato in here.
Generic Bravo Zulu Foxtrot, please expedite your descent 5,000 feet.
Yeah, 230. So that's good. So now put Gadav back. So we're in program, prog, and then Gadav, because we're using that for our descent profile. And what we're doing, we're just going to switch to activate the 10,000 feet when we're 50 nautical miles away from Gadav, and then we can just kind of watch that, and we'll slow down on the air brakes or spoilers should we need to. Right, we can start doing some homework actually. So let's go back into Navigraph. There we go. Right, so we can make sure that we've put 1018 for the ILS, 108.7. So let's go back in the aircraft. So let's go to the rad nav. So it's got that already, so that's good. So we can then, have we got any other? Oh, we don't seem to have any.
Generic Bravo Zulu Foxtrot, please expedite your descent 5,000 feet.
So there's no other, basically, VORs or anything like that. So, am I misreading that? Right, I know it's not on the screen. Sorry about that, but I'll put it on the screen. Okay, so what to do? Let's just go here and open charts list. Standard instrument arrival. No star arrival. So approach. So we're doing the ILS into 25, which is that one. It's fine. So we're coming straight in on 25s. That would be a handy one to have pinned. Airport not necessarily so, don't want that. Okay. Not much doing there then. So we've got the... we don't want that there. So we can take that off. What I actually wanted was the taxi. There, that one. There we go. That's good. So it's quite handy when you can have the plates that you need just to pull them up down here. So right, so it didn't look like there's any VORs or anything, so strange, but that's the way it is. Let's just check again. I mean, I just chose this airport. Let's just have a look just to make sure I've got enough runway. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. 10,600 feet, that's ample. Okay. Right, so it's easy to get distracted. Let's just check. 111 miles to go. And so what we can do is set up the performance. So next phase cruise we are doing. Next phase approach. So the Q&H, what we can do, let me just have a look. Right, okay, what was I doing? Got distracted. What I want to have a look at is aero weather, which I quite like. Search for KTOL because we are live weather. So the weather's 230 at 6 knots, so basically it'll be a 6 knot headwind. So I think it says it's 120.9, so 1210. 21. So we'll pop that in there, and the temperature is 24.4. So I don't think it allows me to do that. Let's try that. No. So 24 then will be the temperature. So the wind is 230, 6 knots. So that can go in there. Transition altitude is... Right, why can't I see that? 18,000 feet. Interesting. Okay. Right, let's get back in the cockpit just to make sure we're still flying. So easy to get distracted. Right, so I think we're 878 or okay, 1000. ILS 878, yeah? Okay, so we need to go back. Still not sure I'm setting this up right, but okay. Okay, looking good. Let's try out some of these new views. I don't like that, the way it sort of skims through the body there, but that's fine. We can figure that out. Right, so how long have we got to go? So we go back to the MCDU and we press program because we've got GDAV programmed in here. 73 miles to go. So why don't we have a quick look at the Pilot Fest website. Okay, so on the website then, just as a little bit of a reminder, if anybody watches this, there's always updates here from what's happening in the Microsoft Flight Simulator world. So today we've got some news that the Stockholm Bromma Airport releases tomorrow, so that'll be Saturday, Saturday the 18th, I think that will be, of September. And we got stuff like Palma de Mallorca coming out, Lublin, and we had the Spitfire release this week, which is the Mark 1A. Bits of news on that, and the Phoenix A320. So bit of competition there for the fly-by-wire. And what else we got? You can fly through a tunnel, and then lots of news there. If you want to go to the website, it's pilotfest.net, and just basically have a scroll. What have we got here? So there's a video that I just featuring for now, and then this is quite interesting, but this is something that I've set up for a Patreon thing just for fun, really, to see if it worked. It's a bit blurred out because you have to download it to get it, and this is a really good flight planning flight log, where you can put all the information in that you need, and you get that from becoming a Patreon. Then in the community tab, we've got the Microsoft PA28 checklist. So this is just basically flying, and what you do with these, just tick your way as you work your way through. You can write in here to keep a note as you go, but if you refresh the screen, they disappear. And then we've got the interactive checklist for the A320, and then there's the CRJ. I did a bit of flying with the CRJ when it first came out, but then it literally, there were some faults with it when it first came out. It literally crashed my PC, and I had to rebuild it from the start. But I did get round to doing a kind of checklist. I can't believe I spent so much time on that, but I did. So that's there. So yeah, if you want to just follow what's happening in Flight Sim world, always there's news on the homepage. The blog, couple of bits and pieces. Oh, this is good. That's worth looking at if you've got the honeycomb, because it's like a shelf that works a treat with the honeycomb thing. So, all right, let's get back to the aircraft. Right, how are we doing? 57 miles to go. So I think we can initiate our descent now. So we're doing that 10 miles before. Let's try. Let's leave it till what it says. Let's wind. There's GDAV, because I want to see if it does actually descend. It said 47. I'm not that brave. Let's do it now. It'd be better to be descended earlier. Right, down to 10,000 feet. So we should be 10,000 feet before GDAV or GDAV. GDAV, mate. GDAV. Right, we're on our way down now. It's fantastic. There we go. And let's have a look, just see where we are, because there seems to be a lovely lake there. So let's... Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So that is... Oh, what lake is that? Lake Erie. There you go. So that must be the line. Shall I put it up on the screen so you can see it? Lake Erie. So that must be the line between... the United States and Canada. So that's what we can see out the window there. Oh, is this time for a window view? Other window. There you go. There's Lake Erie. Right, let's get back in the cockpit. Just make sure we are descending. So we are dropping. So according to the screen, we're doing about 1,100 feet per minute. So we are on auto throttle in effect. Autopilot's on, manage speed, manage heading. On our way down, we are blue 10,000 feet. Let's just check that. Radio altitude. So once we get down to 18,000 feet, transition altitude will change to barometer pressure. So descending nicely now. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the data on the top of the screen there, because I kind of made up the little graphic for that, so that looks quite nice. So we are, what's that, 40 miles to go to Gdańsk, and we were looking to, so we got about 11,000 feet to go. It's about 2/3 left, and we've only done about, yeah, this is going to be fine. And then if we look at what we need to do then, so back to the flight plan. So we're descending to Gdańsk, and then we've got about, so at is that right? Cato ILS. Okay. I'm sure that should be before that. Anyway, we'll see. So once we get to, is that Cato? Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look on the plan. Switch to flight plan. So all right, I think that this is, yeah, it's to do with the way it draws it, I think, because basically the experimental version has a few funnies on it. So anyway, 19,000 feet and about 30 feet to go. So about 8,000 feet we'll have to lose to get to Gdańsk. That's fine. So speed is good, about 250, and that's shown as 271 on the data on the top there, on the overlay. Right, let's start to go through the checklist then. Right, so we can do TCAS, go to below. ATIS we've checked, altimeter is set. Yeah, so we've come below 18,000 feet now, so we can go back to 1025 and press barometer 1013. Okay. Let's go back into because I'm sure that would need to be 1021. Ah, yeah, that's QNH. So QNH is 1021. QNH is 1021. What's the difference in height? Okay, that will be fine. Right, so how we descend in, so we've got 20 miles to go and we are 15,000 feet, so looking good. Right, so radio set, anti-ice as required. Thruster set idle, excuse me. Nav accuracy check, so we're gonna yep, there we go. Accuracy check is good. Barometer and set B. Very strange. And then cross check 1021 and cross check with the emergency barometer as well. Check. Okay, that's good. ND range comes down to 40. Radios check. Fasten seat belts goes on. Landing lights go on. Speed check. Engine mode check normal. Engine mode is normal. Right, in the descent below 10,000 feet, which we're not quite at yet, so we can get ready for that in a minute. So below 10,000 feet, we'll switch the ND range to navigation display range to 10 to 20 nautical miles. Right, so we're coming up on 14,000 feet and we've got about 15 miles to go, so that's going to be fine. So what we want to see is, so let's go back to our calculator because it seems to be working well. So we sync that and we want to go down to is it 3100? Okay, so let's just check. Not below 3100. Okay. So 30 miles, sync. So it's going to be about 25 miles out. Right, okay, so coming up on 12,000, so we can that seems to have worked quite well. So our next waypoint is going to be Harbs. So now if we go back to Harbs, HARBS, and put that in there. So it's 85 miles. So we're going to start our descent back here. So coming up. So about 24 miles out. Okay, so we'll actually start at 25 miles out. What a lovely view. Oh goodness me, so tired. Right, so coming up on a turn, make sure that we're staying on track. Right, so there's our blue, 10,000 blue coming up. So we should level off there. Well, that's not worked out too bad. So we did it a bit early. So that's the way to calculate that, isn't it? So we maintain 10,000 feet because we don't have, let's just check, any constraints on the flight plan. So between Gdav, our next constraint is Harbs. So there we go, should be making a turn now. Look at that, fantastic, isn't it? Right, so program, 79 miles to go, and if we go back to our calculator, sync, oh, well that's not worked, has it? Sync. Right, 22 miles out, okay? So, we want to be 22 miles out before we start down to 3,000. Might as well go 3,100. So we come back here and let's set our next one down to 3,000. 3,200. Back and have a look. So we're 74. So we're going to start our descent at 22 miles out. I mean, we can see when Harbs comes up here. So I think it's the one after CRL, Charlie Romeo Lima. Right, so let's just check the systems. So we're on auto, we've got auto throttle, we're in lever climb. Everything's looking good. Let's check the barometer, 1019. Ah, QNH, that's what we want. Right, so let's keep in tune with this. So Harbs is 66, so we've got about 43 miles to go. We're set at 3.2, so we've allowed 100 feet there. We can probably turn on the landing system, see if we can pick that up. Probably a bit early, but that'll be fine. Just don't press approach, because then I think it goes wrong. Right, let's check Harbs, because it's surprising how quick this happens. Harbs even. Right, so far so good. So where are we? 10,000 feet. So we can start doing some of these other checks actually. So we can, the descent rate we know we're going to be fine in a minute. Below 10,000 we can bring the range in. Cabin crew 10 minutes. I need to kind of figure out how to do this cabin crew thing. So need to check what happens with that really. ATIS we've checked, barometers set, APU is required, spoilers are armed and up, water brakes set low medium, there we go, flaps as required. Let's just check how we're doing on our 50 to go. Nav ILS is on, taxi lights go to on, go to takeoff landing, and runway lights. Locator goes on, ILS. Good. Right, so we can have the locator on, I think. It's not detected it yet, so hopefully it will soon. Okay. So currently, coming in over Detroit. Let's have a look at Detroit. Straight. There you go. The big D. Quite amazing, really. Always amazing, this. No add-ons to get this amount of graphics capability is fantastic. Okay, so keep on top of this. 45 to go to halves. Ooh. Yeah, so hopefully at some point they sort out this overexposed sky. I was hoping that might have been covered in the fix, but perhaps it is, but they've just not specifically mentioned it. So I think once I've done this flight, I'm going to upgrade. Right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. 40 miles to Harbs. So getting a nice consistent kind of 50 odd frames per second. Let's just pull it up on the screen and see what it looks like there. So nearly 60, mostly in the green, yellow, that's all good. Happy with that. Is that over there? Massive, isn't it? Right, check the MCDU, 27 miles, set up 3.2, we're doing our, we're only doing 210 knots, so quite wide, there's no constraint. Could that be because we're on Mac? Don't know. I'm not going to touch that because we're still flying, so I wonder if I don't know, my throttle is slightly out of sync, I think, with the sim, so I need to have a look at doing that at some point. Right, cabin check. Oh, let's check Harbs. 32 miles, so we're still good. Go around altitude set. Have I done the go around altitude? I don't think I have. Approach mode. This is 10 nautical miles, so I'm a little bit ahead of myself here. Okay, let's have a look. 29 miles. So what we're looking to be is 3,100 at halves. Let's see, does this work? 28 miles so far. So check 3,200. Okay, 22.8 miles, and down we go. And we're checking 3,200 feet in the blue, and we're on the way down. All right, let's see how we're doing. We're still descending. Let's turn up the range there for a minute. Right, let's have a look, see what's happening here. Right, so we're going to turn. So we should be going. This looks odd, but because we should be flying to Harbs. Let's just check that we are actually next. Yeah, so I think that we need to delete Kato because it's a bit confused. So let's clear that. Okay. Let's see what damage I've done here. Ah, that's fine. So we should now. What we want to do is go direct to Harbs. And we should turn now. There we go. Yeah. So then that will take us. It's fine. So we can come into 20. Right, so speed's good. Right, so autopilot's on. Flaps check. I think we're okay. I think we're okay at the moment. So let's have another quick look here. So maximum 5,000. I've just seen ILS unusable. Hopefully that's not telling me what I think it might be. Okay. Remain positive. So descending nicely. We picked up the locator, which is good. So we can fantastic. Huh. It's like flying a picture. I've got the caching on and everything. It still seems to be building the scene as I look around, which I'm sure I read something that was fixed and that wasn't supposed to happen now. I've got the switch on, I think. Right, 4,000 feet. Bring it down to 10 nautical miles. So we should be above 3,100 feet for harbs and above 2,400 feet for G's. So let me just check. Every graph. Yeah, 2,400 feet. So our next one is 2,400 feet. So we can initiate that now. Oh look, there's the runway. Okay, right, so we need to have perhaps one. And we can hit the approach button now. Hopefully that will pick us up fairly soon. So we'll be flying to 24 at that point, G's, and then was G's, wasn't it? Jeeps. And then that should pick us up and take us the rest of the way down. Hopefully. Right, okay, so 7 miles to run. We're going to have gear down. Second stage flap. Auto thrust is on. Gear down. Check. All green. Flaps set. Outer marker. Oh, okay. Okay. Right, that's what I need to do. Okay. So I've got a warning there. So we'll do that another time. A little bit busy at the moment. Full flap. So we're definitely off a little bit. I don't know why. Approach is detected. Okay, so we need to be recording. Recording. Okay, standing by. For autopilot off. Yeah, so we are a little bit over to the left. Autopilot goes off, and then we need to correct that, I think. Throttle's idle. Flare. Oh. First thrust. And brake. Auto braking. Okay. And stop recording and replay. Okay, let's have a look. I've never done this before, I don't think. This is cool. Now I think what happens, we then take over when we land again. Slats out. Gears down. I will have one like this, and then we'll have one out the window. So I did bounce a bit, I think. Not bad, close to the numbers. I reversed the thrust whilst I was still in the air. Okay, so... Okay, back we come again. Okay. So it still does put the setup as you were. So we got everything configured. Okay. So that's so good, isn't it, to be able to play it back. It's a little bit stuttery, so it must be trying to do something. So just check out for these auto thrusts, reverse thrusts coming on mid-air. Okay, so now we just do it coming in from the other side. There you go, shut the auto thrust, don't want that out. Not the auto thrust, it was the reverse thrust. Okay, so right, so I need to get back in the cockpit on this one, I think, because we're taking over to slow down. There we go. Wasn't particularly great. Reverse thrust. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really supposed to come to a grinding halt, I don't think. On the runway, I don't think that's what they're looking for. Okay, so we're going to take this one. I think the terminal's off to the right. Come on. Careful, because I keep accidentally switching that into reverse. I think that was that warning that I had come up that I had to. Right. Should we follow that little car there? What do you think? Okay. Why not? Oops. Okay, there you go. That haven't got time for a shutdown. I've got some other things to go and do. But anyway, that was good fun. That was all right. It's good to see the replay working. So that's me over and out. Thanks for coming along for the ride. And we've seen the new... that's not right, is it? 683 feet. So good to see that. And quite happy with that. And catch you next time.